Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dame and this is Dame Over, and today's video is a first look at the finally released Incursions game mode to the CTE on console. Because the Incursions game mode has only been on the console CTE for a matter of hours and everything is obviously subject to change, hence the community test environment, this won't be a full review. I'll just give you a lowdown of the different game modes, the different classes you can use, and the background footage is of my first game so you get an idea of the actual flow of it. So if you guys find this video useful or entertaining, make sure you hit that like button before you go, and if you want to keep up to date with any future posts I make, then make sure you hit the subscribe button too. So let's jump straight to it. So let's begin by talking about the different game modes. There are 3 available to you, and the first one on the list is the Squad Breakthrough, which is an attack and defend game mode. One team is defending from the attackers who have a limited amount of spawn tickets, very similar to the Operations game mode, and if those tickets run out, then the defending team wins and it swaps over for the second half. Next on the list we have the title game mode Incursions. This is a cross between Domination and Frontlines. Each team starts with a home flag and fights to control the neutral flag, which is in the middle of the map. And it's this game mode that you're going to see in the background footage in a moment. You need to score 10 points to win the set, and there are 8 sets per win. These points or tickets can be earned from kills, vehicles destroyed, and squad wipes, as well as capturing the flag. Lastly, we've got King of the Hill, so both teams have to control 1 flag out of 3 sectors, and after that sector has been captured, it moves on to the next one, similar to Rush or Operations. And something very unique to Incursions, instead of having a loadout, you have kits. I'll cycle through on the screen all of the kits in order so you can see what they do. I'm not going to describe them all because there's quite a lot of information to get out, so if you want to check them out, just pause the video and take a few seconds to read it yourself. And while these kits are very specific to ranges and different roles within the game, you can change some of the weapons, so your primary and sidearm don't have to be the standard ones that are given to you in the game, and occasionally you can change the grenade as well. Another very important part of Incursions is the limitation to the number of kits you can have. So for either vehicle operator or squad leader kits, you're only allowed to have 1 of each on each team. These are potentially the most powerful kits and have the potential as well to drastically change the tactics of your team depending on what choices have been made. This, however, doesn't count for the soldier subcategory. You're allowed to choose as many of each soldier as you like. As you can tell from the footage, I chose a vehicle operator class. This wasn't completely out of choice, we just didn't have anyone on the team that wanted to, so I decided to do it myself. And you'll have to excuse the absolutely appalling gameplay. I barely ever play in tanks, so my aiming is yeah, it's abysmal. So the important stuff, how did the game feel and how did it play? Well, I was playing in the ranked playlist, which meant that all of the class choices were fixed from the beginning to the end of the game, and it became very clear very early on that having a concerted push and lots of teamwork was definitely the way to play if you're going to capture an objective, and the same for defending it as well. I suppose it's an obvious thing to say because the whole point of the 5v5 game modes is that you're forced to work with your team very closely, and choosing the right loadouts for your team are very important as well for success. Another very important and unique thing to Incursions is the in-game kit progression. Experience points are awarded to you for doing anything that scores a point for your team, so getting a kill, getting an assist, capturing an objective, etc. And each kit has 3 different ranks, making your character more and more powerful as you go through the ranks. This puts a very large emphasis on keeping a kill streak and staying alive for as long as possible, as you're far more likely to affect the game if you have a higher rank. So like I said, teamwork is definitely at the top of the priority list, which was an issue that we came across when we were actually searching for a game. So there was myself and Get Good Guy, who is also in this lobby. You might see his name pop up in the kill feed occasionally, and if there's a medic that I can't quite catch running around a corner, that's him. I was certainly under the impression that having a 5v5 game mode meant that you were supposed to get your own squad all together and play in the same game, but unfortunately in the CTE you're not allowed to search for a game with more than 2 players, and even when we did try to do it, we couldn't actually find a game, and for some reason the search broke down and didn't work at all. This was obviously a huge problem, and one that was very confusing to me. I was under the impression that the whole point of Incursions was to get 5 people together who are able to communicate and work as a team closely to play against another team of 5 that are doing the same thing, as though it's a ranked playlist, which is exactly what it is. In the base game, you can play as a group of 5, but it's meant to be more of a casual experience, so why are you not allowed to do that in the CTE? I don't know if it's a bit of a teething problem, and obviously it is still in beta, so this could all change on the full release, but for now, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to spend as much time as I wanted to on Incursions just because of this one issue. Not to mention the ranked playlist, hopefully there's some sort of leaderboard, so there's always that sense of competition, so you can try and get to the top and obviously get bragging rights, because that's the most important thing. The maps have been totally redesigned to suit the 5v5 5v5 game type, although I feel like they are a little too big. Maybe if they were about a third smaller, it would be perfect. Sometimes it feels like you're running around just looking for people for most of the game, unfortunately. I know it seems like quite a negative note to finish on, but I did actually have quite a lot of fun. I think this has a lot of potential to be a great addition to Battlefield 1. But those are just my first impressions of Incursions. Have you guys managed to play any games yet? What do you make of the whole idea of a 5v5 game mode? Make sure you let me know down in the comments below. And a quick thank you to those of you who are helping me not get game over by supporting the channel through Patreon. It's because of you guys that I'm able to make my content as often as I do, so thank you. And if you'd like to join these guys and become a patron yourself, I've left a link to the Patreon page in the description, and I'll leave one in the pinned comment as well, where if you'd like to, you can donate from as little as $1 a month. So if you had a good time, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button too. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that bell button so you can get guaranteed notifications of any new posts. And until next time, that's Game Over. Peace.